everyone. So first of all, I sure hope you're not able to hear my neighbors arguing in the background because that's kind of embarrassing, but regardless, today I will finally review Kindred. I was supposed to review this a long time ago, but then I went through a reading slump, a little bit of one, and I don't really feel like filming that much if I don't read much. Anyways, that's not really that relevant because I read this book and I can review it now. Usually, I don't really feel. I think another one of the reasons why I was so late to make this review is because I just felt really lukewarm about this book, and I don't feel too excited to make a review on books that I don't feel super strongly about one way or the other. But in any case, I can review this because I do have particular thoughts on it. This book does seem to be pretty known. It is from the 70s. I think it is actually set in the 70s and then much earlier in time. I will tell you about that. But basically, Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. Let me tell you about this. So the writing style, my first point, I will give half a star to it. It's kind of on the dull side. I didn't really think that it added much of interest to the story itself. It's almost like the author thought that just by telling the story it would be good enough, but some things, things are described and all, but it's just a little too blunt and not very interesting. Like, I went downstairs and out of the cookhouse, I shook my head, Carrie nodded, I looked from the boy to the girl, like, okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it writing style particularly. For the plot and storyline, and also for the world building, I give half a star as well. I feel like the world building is a bit lacking because we don't really know why the whole time travel thing is going on, and not a lot of it is actually explored. We don't really know whether other people are going through the same thing, whether it's because they're black or what. I mean, we don't know anything about this kind of thing. I do think the storyline is pretty well constructed. It's very logical. I think that it makes a lot of sense how one thing leads to the other and so on. I also think that the ending was something that made a lot of sense to have as the ending, although it also felt kind of rushed to me, and I was not really able to feel it very strongly because usually the ending is kind of like impactful or somehow more intense than the rest, and I didn't feel like it was. I feel like it was somewhat anticlimactic, as some people might say. So for characters, I do give a full star. I think that it was a pretty good aspect of this book. I felt that they were pretty nuanced. There's antagonists in the story, but I feel like there were no villains in the sense that there was a character who was nothing but just pure evil. They were all just people who had different interests and who had different contexts because of historical reasons, and just in terms of their personality and so on, people clashed, but it wasn't necessarily because someone was just completely evil and was trying to make the main character's life impossible or anything like that. So I like that the fact that they're all given quite a bit of complexity, and also the dialogue is very well written, I have to say that as well. So 1 star, like I said, a full star for characters. For depth, it does have half a star. The book touches on quite a few different topics like racism, history, American history, and so on, but I feel like all that you get is the main character kind of telling you a little bit of her thoughts on it, and that's kind of where it ends. Although I do appreciate that it makes a point to not hit you over the head with the message as some other books have done. If you watched my last review, Fahrenheit 451, in case you didn't watch it, you have to, because I feel there's a lot of things going on in that review. But regardless, last, for my personal enjoyment of the book, it has half a star as well. It wasn't at all hard to get through, again, probably because of the writing style, but also there wasn't that much to take in, and I did like the characters and all, and I did like the idea of, for example, the main character and Kevin being together. As a couple, I did really enjoy them. But I also don't really see myself rereading this book because I feel like everything that there was to get from this book, I already got through reading it the first time. So again, that has to do with depth, I think, and stuff like that. In case you feel differently about this book, you definitely should tell me about it down in the comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And oh, so yeah, in total, it is 3 stars out of 5 for this book. So it is, I think, rather positive. Some people might consider it to be, kind of negative. Like I said, I'm kind of lukewarm about this book, but I do feel mostly positive about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see each other in the next one. Bye.